And I know other people will be joining us soon. I do want to offer apologies for Deepa. She was supposed to be my co-presenter, and she sprained her ankle earlier in the week and was unable to even make the flight. She's in so much pain. So she's not here today. She's not able to present, but she sends her apologies personally through me. She emailed me this morning, and so it will be just me. And in that case, I will tell you what I have to say, and then we can go into Q&A, because I really like working with people on an individual basis about starting businesses, because, of course, that's what I do. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm also an anthropologist and an author. And so today we'll be talking about entrepreneurship and getting out of your own way, really, in order to start the business that you've always wanted to start. So I just want to start by posing a question. Hello, welcome. So how many of you here have ever had a moment where you have an amazing idea? It seems like it's exactly the perfect project plan. It might even be the thing that you were meant to do with your life, and then you didn't take any action on it. Yeah, most of you, right? Yeah. So I too have had those moments where I think, oh my gosh, this is a great idea, and then I don't do anything about it. It may seem like a serial entrepreneur would be perfectly poised to take risks like starting a new business or taking action on a new idea, but there have been many ideas that I simply stow away my brain for another day and they get forgotten. Why do we do this? Well, we have really good reasons. We have bills to pay, we have a family to feed, we have a car, we have a mortgage, we have responsibilities. And our friends might think we were maybe a little crazy if we started something that was so seemingly out of right field. But of course, there's the crowd favorite. What if we don't succeed? Right? So these are all legitimate reasons. But what I want to tell you is that these reasons are all based in fear. My favorite quote on this is from the book, The War of Art. It's a thin little book. It's such a fast and easy read, so if you've never heard of it, go buy it, The War of Art. And it says, if you didn't love the thing that was terrifying you, you wouldn't feel anything at all. So in 2015, the proverbial lightning struck, and I too had an audacious idea. It was pretty crazy. I decided I was going to drive across the United States alone, 12,000 miles, to interview our oldest living citizens about how technology has changed everything over their lifetimes. And then, of course, I wanted to write a book about it, just as we heard in the last session, which I had never done before. This time, I didn't ignore the call because I was a little bit fed up with my own status quo. We like to think that the status quo is safe, but how many of you have had a situation where you lose your job, your partner leaves, your car breaks down? Our status quo isn't safer than taking the risk of starting something. It's just as risky. Life is just as fickle. So if things are that fragile, why not start something that could be the thing that you ought to be doing with your life? So, in 2015, I started designing this audacious project plan. I started to figure out how to drive across the country. Where would the funding come from? Where would the people come from? But let me be clear, there really wasn't a plan. I was simply just following the steps laid out in front of me by the universe. And can we all admit here today that that's kind of really all that we're doing in life? We're just following steps and we're hoping that we get to a certain place, but life happens. And so really we just can only go one step in front of each other. Kind of like the lights on the highway, right? You're in your car, you can only see a little bit ahead, but you get there. Sometimes you go through a detour you didn't know was coming, because life happens. What I want to say to you, if you're thinking about starting something, either a business, a project, a book, what I'm about to say is the most important thing that I will say to you during this entire session. You listening?
Yes.
Yeah. You would not have the audacious idea that has come to you if you were not exactly the right person to make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it again. You would not have had the idea, it would not have come to you if you weren't exactly the right human being to make it come to life. Here's how I know. So I have this idea, I want to drive across the country. I want to interview our oldest living citizens, our elders, in order to understand how technology has changed everything over the past 100 years. How am I going to make it happen? I'd been an entrepreneur for many years at that point. I'd started a tech company, I knew how to do websites, I knew how to network, I knew how to do social media, I knew how to find help. Looking back, I could see that my life had perfectly set me up in order to make this project happen. Because I could start a project. I'd known how to start other businesses, I could start a project. I knew how to build a website for this project and develop a social media presence because I'd done that for my other companies. I knew how to network in order to find people to interview and to ask people, how do I start a Kickstarter campaign, something I'd never done before, and make it successful, and to become a staff pick, which is the highest accolade on Kickstarter. All because I've had all of these other experiences in my past. You have everything you need already to do the idea, otherwise you wouldn't have had it. So I'm going to give you the 3 things that you need to do in order to stop being in fear, because we all agreed a minute ago that fear is why we're not doing what we think we ought to be doing, why we put away these ideas, right? Why we have all these excuses. It's fear alone. So I'm going to give you the 3 things that you need to do. First of all, look just like I did at everything that you have ever done in your life. You are not operating in a silo. You know, a silo like on the farms where they store the grains and it's tall and it's thin and there's no doors around it, there's no windows. That's not you. You're not inside a silo where you can't get out. You have done so many things already in your lives. Everything you have ever done can go to support this new idea. The new idea is not a silo. Make a list, talk to your friends, talk to people whom you trust in order to truly understand what tools do I have? What have I done? And then you can start to get the tools that you don't have because you're smart enough to do so. Okay, number 2, build your bench. So what is your bench? Who here knows anything about sports? At all? Just a little bit? Okay, I don't either, it's fine. But I do know that most sports teams have a bench, right? Okay, so you guys kind of know that. So there's the people playing out in the field, and then there's a bench where the people are waiting, the teammates are waiting, right? Okay. You should have a bench for your business, for your idea. This may not be your family members or your closest friends. And that does not mean you don't love them, and that does not mean that they don't love you. They're just not the right people to be on your bench. Your bench should be people who you trust, who have skills that you might need, and whom you can ask for support at any time. Because just like with the sports teams, the people on the bench are there for you when you get tired, when you need backup, when you need somebody to come in with a better skill than you because they can kick further. Most people can kick further than I can. And finally, consider what you already have in your toolbox, as I've mentioned. Think about the people around you. Think about everything that you've seen, everything that you've heard, everything that you've done, because it's already there for you and it's already going for you. Set your vision. Accept the fact that things may change, because I can tell you, I did not realize what I was doing when I started my project. I thought I was doing a photography project. And now I wrote a book about how technology has changed everything. Okay, so things will change. Set your vision and just start walking. And you will absolutely get there, no matter what. But you have to start walking, right? All right, so like I said, this is good because it's actually, we're running behind anyway, so we're going to catch up now. But I want to open up for questions because I really, really like working with people on their ideas. And so I'm happy to stand here and literally coach you. If you have an idea, let's talk about it. How can I help you? start your business, start your idea today. What can I do?
Come do it for me.
Yes. What do you got? What are you thinking? What's in your heart?
My heart is in public speaking, motivational speaking.
Yeah.
I'm just about to launch my 4-week online mentorship program, Journey Back to Source. But what I'm not very good at is the technical part. The confidence to know when to pause, what to pause, etc. To keep it going, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, who do you know?
My mentor. So he's a pro. I'm learning.
Perfect. Yeah. So a lot of entrepreneurs tend to get stuck in the I have to do it all myself, and that's okay when it's early. You know, sometimes we don't have the capital to be hiring people, but then you can find people to train you instead, and so you can learn at least a little bit. And then as you grow, if you're smart, which you are, you're able to say, I know this isn't what I'm really good at. I'm supposed to be over here motivating people with their lives, right? So then you hire that out. So don't spend a lot of time in your business trying to learn this and become an expert at it, because you were never meant to be an expert at it. Yeah.
You still must know at least the
You have to know at least something so that you can hire the right person. But so you find people who are in your camp, you can say, this is a person on my bench. How do I know that I'm going to hire the right person? You're an expert at this. So either you hire people who are experts that are your friends, you know they'll do a good job, or you can ask them and say, I need to hire somebody, and I know that this isn't what you do, but you have expertise in it. How do I make sure that I'm really hiring somebody who's going to do the right thing for me? Don't try to do everything all by yourself. You don't have to. It's okay to ask friends and family for help. Try to set a milestone too, just so that you don't find yourself waking up one morning and you're on the hamster wheel and you're like, oh my God, I have too much to do. I'm trying to juggle this and this and this and this and this. Try to set a milestone of like this many clients or this much revenue or this much time. And then this is when I'm going to give away this part of my business that doesn't serve me, that I'm not really good at. Is that helpful? Yes. Yeah. Hi. What's your name? Akriti?
Yeah.
Meet you. Namaste.
So, I'm a student pursuing my master's.
Congratulations.
I'm working on my future entrepreneurial venture. It is upon special bras and prosthesis for breast cancer patients.
Yeah.
So I wanted to develop a product in the context of Indian women, by recognizing their needs. But the biggest challenge that is coming up is the capital. Because being a student, I don't have a lot of funds. I don't want to borrow money from my parents. And I'm absolutely a fresher, have never been paid for anything I have done for any other organization yet. So, yeah.
There's a lot of organizations that specialize in funding student work. So there's investors, but there's also actual grant organizations that they want to get in early and support students before the business has gone like this. So if I were you, I'd be searching either at your university if they have an entrepreneurial department, or simply just on the internet to see if you can find someone who specializes in student support. That's where I would go. Honestly, though, what you're doing has enough heart in it, and it's something that everybody can give. I mean, I think everybody in this room probably knows somebody who's had breast cancer, right? I mean, this is something that we all deal with as women. My mom had it, my best friend had it. So it's something that is heartfelt enough that if you get to the right place, so you have to get it developed to a certain point, and I could tell you more about that after if you want, but you really could do a Kickstarter campaign and get a big following, because Kickstarter is social. And it's not just about, I just want to say, anyone who's thinking about doing crowdfunding, the biggest mistake that I see people make is that they want to just post it and they put it up, and they think the website will take care of it, and that's not true. So you need to have the following already there, but then it also helps to build your following too at the same time. But it's a heartfelt enough thing that you can really do a good Kickstarter. You also should talk to her if you haven't met yet. Have you two met? So talk to Amanda because she does Mindy henna for women who have cancer. She does crowns. So you two need to know each other. Yeah. Yes.
See how amazing is it, right? She just asked and she already got one connection.
Yeah. I really like connecting people.
It's all about
You need
that.
a connection, you just ask me. It's my favorite thing to do.
So right, I'm trying to set up a wellness business. So as an individual therapist, I get a lot of clients. I don't call them patients, but just clients, right? So I had a lot of success with that. But my main challenge is the industry, the states or even the world is not very aware about the impact that holistic therapies or a therapeutic way of handling holistic sciences can have in their lives. So I've seen people getting cured of thyroid. They've been taking medicines for 20 years, and within 2 months' time, they're off medication. Diabetes patients, 12 years, 15 years, they've been taking medication. Within a week's time, their sugar levels just go down. We have to get them off the medication and give them, the opposite. We have to get them to have more sugar so that their blood sugar levels stay the same. So, this is the impact that these can have. But, the world at large, and especially, the industry over here, especially in Delhi, I feel, we're not very aware about it. So there's no value. How do you create value when people are not pretty closed, I would say? Generally, it's a negative way of looking at it, but still, that's what I've genuinely felt. They're close to trying to understand it, even unless they've been through it themselves on the journey and just seen somewhere firsthand.
Yes.
So how to then create that value? Because I can't spend that much on advertising and creating so much awareness. I can go out and speak to people. I do that as much as I can. Still not enough.
Yeah.
So
I know you have an uphill battle against the Western medicine who like to say, just take the pill, just take the pill, just take the pills, right? I want to know what markets. I kind of want to go deep with you, but so I want to know what markets you've been in. But so this will be the last one. Does everyone here remember or have heard of the pet rock movement? Yeah, you do, okay. So in the 80s, I believe it was, this man decided he was going to put googly eyes on a rock and paint it and put a little bit of yarn as the hair, and he sold them. He sold rocks and made millions of dollars. So why I tell you that is that you can create the market you want, but you have to do what I call front loading, just like you're talking about. So you have to educate people and explain why they want it. You have to make them want it. And for you, you're not selling rocks, you're selling something that really has incredible change. So just off the cuff, without knowing a whole lot of what you've done already, of course blogging is fantastic, but you don't want to just blog on your own website because, again, you're putting yourself back in a silo. And you can be found. The World Wide Web is a web, and so you need to be feeding that web and bringing links and interest into your own work and website. Testimonials, especially video. YouTube is owned by Google, so anything you put on YouTube goes and feeds into Google, and that actually helps then with your visibility. But you have to make sure that you type things out in the description because Google can't read videos or photos. So if you're doing anything online for marketing, make sure that you're using typed words, not just pictures and not just video, because otherwise Google won't know what's going on. And then also, if you've had, it sounds like you have really amazing clients with good success. So with that, then you could be asking them, who do you know? Would you recommend me? And build a referral program around that they then can invite their friends and family in because they already trust you. And then that's really important, is to capitalize on that trust because that's where your momentum is right now. Is that helpful? I only know like a sliver. There's a lot more I want to know about your business in order to help you because there's about 1 million different ways to do it. But you're in the business of, right now, front loading so that people start to really understand the benefits. Yeah. So I do have, speaking of YouTube, I have my own YouTube channel where I talk about entrepreneurship, getting started, apps, ideas, etc. So you can take a picture of that if you like, and you find me on YouTube and on my website. But I also have my business cards. I'm happy to pass them all around. stalk me on Facebook and Instagram, whatever you want. And I'm so happy to have spoken to you all today. And please, feel free to come up and talk to me, or we can go out in the hall if we're running late. Did we catch up a little bit, maybe? On time? Yep. Hopefully. Thank you so much.
Pictures?
Yes, everybody. Come in here, come on, everybody.
Yes.
I think we caught